Has that happened before?
What?
You get
No.
I'm just wondering what to expect.
Yeah, like, wait, what?
All right, well, as people come in, we'll get rolling here. So appreciate everybody coming. Thank you for joining us tonight. You know, once we get into June and July, it's kind of like we're not sure who's on vacation and who's not. So we'll see how it goes. So we'll just start. What is GRID? We've had this discussion before, but we're a global real estate community, and we're built to network, to do deals, to make relationships, and that's really one of the reasons that we have Mark here today as well. Mark Beckett. He's the godfather of GRID, one of the co-founders.
Makes you sound older than I am, Dave. That's all right.
Well, you have to kind of talk a little bit like Marlon Brando.
Right.
So the other thing is we're not gurus. We're just people with a lot of good information that we want to share with other folks. So that's why we're here. Our mission is just to connect and learn and share information, build a community, and that's what we're trying to build here. Our next meeting in July, the second Wednesday in July at 6:30, will be at the Clifton Town Hall. It's a little bit bigger space, a little bit easier for us to set up and move around. So
Is that the normal time, second Wednesdays?
what's that?
Is that the normal second Wednesdays?
Yeah, it's always the second Wednesday of every month at 6:30. So there's three aspects of what we're doing with GRID and the Casa Group and GAIN. You know, one of the new rulings that's come out is that wholesalers have to be licensed now, right? And we just recently, the Casa Group, which is our real estate team, Will and I run the GRID Clifton, the Casa Clifton real estate team. And we just moved to EXP, right? So what that allows us to do is create this network called GAIN, which is realtors who want to be licensed, and they might just be wholesalers, so they may do real estate deals, or they may also do just wholesaling deals, and they can park their license there and be part of our community and take advantage of all the education that we do in Casa and in GAIN and in the community that we have. Right? The GRID piece of that is our investor community, as we well know, and that's why we're here tonight, to educate people on every aspect of investing and move on from
Don't forget the books and tapes. We're also looking to sell some books and tapes.
there.
No books, no tapes.
There's no books, no tapes to sell.
No books, no
It's
tapes.
all free.
Oh my gosh.
Which is what I like best about Casa and GRID when I first met Mark and Rob. Wow, it's been what, 12 years ago now?
Yeah.
At least. Yeah, which was, you know, I was looking for real estate investment group with people that would do deals, you know, and I kept going to these investor meetups and ended up, you know, every one of them was like, give me $10,000 and I'll give you my DVD collection. I'm not doing that, I'm just looking for deals. Right? And so the fifth one that I tried was run by a couple of guys. One guy was a realtor from Keller Williams at that time, Rob Chavez, and he, you know, and I'm thinking, well, what could possibly go wrong there? So I'll go, right? You know, so I did, and it was a real deal. They were like, we'll teach you how to do this business, soup to nuts. We just want you here in the room, and we want you doing deals and helping us out. So, yeah. No books and tapes.
I'd say that is accurate.
Yeah.
So maybe one day, if there's educational stuff that is valuable but not $10,000 and we can cover the cost of production, we can try to get stuff put together. But the point really is you don't need anybody's books and tapes. You just need somebody to kind of help fill in blanks, right? What am I going to get in trouble for? What do I need to know? Ask enough people that have done a thing, and they'll tell you what to do, right?
Yeah, you need the connections, you need the networking, you need the deals, you need the advice from people who have done this before. So Will and I run this group in Clifton, and we started last October. So we're building our community here from everyone that we can. So You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Will Baxter. Started like Dave said, started in October last year, and really my passion is about growing our community, and actually building a local community of folks that are doing investment deals, executing on investment deals, and tonight's topic about building your dream team is really what it's about. Is, you know, when you do have a deal and you're unsure of what question to ask, you know, how do I value this property? How much is it going to cost? What are the red flags? Those are all the things that I wish I would have had back in 2017 when I started my journey. I made a lot of the mistakes of just diving in head first and hitting my head on the bottom of the pool, and proverbially. So anyway, this is ideally a network that you can come and build relationships, get experience, and really be a part of the group. That's a big part of this. So, yeah, thanks for coming out, everybody.
Appreciate it. And we have our guest speaker today. You look like, that's a good picture.
The magic headshot. Yeah, that's good stuff.
The AI generated.
That's right. It's all AI. It's all 95-degree heat. Yeah, thanks for having me out. As you said, quaint town. We started what now is called Grid 15 some odd years ago in a room very similar to this in Reston, where I went out to one of those things looking to learn something about real estate. I've worked in real estate for 30 some odd years, building houses, land development, sales stuff, something in real estate. Was working in residential construction in 2000 up till 2007. If anyone remembers what real estate was like in 2007, it got real hard, real quick to sell houses, at least newly built houses, so I had to find something else to do. So I've been aware of real estate investing. I've watched the late night infomercials of Dave Delgado on his yacht, and you too can buy real estate with no money down. Give me $199 or whatever, and I'll send you my books and tapes. And I don't think I've bought too many of those then. I've bought a lot since then. Real big believers in education. It's all valuable, even if you learn what not to do. But went to what was then called a CASA Investor Network meetup, run by my now business partner, Rob Chavez, who runs the CASA Group. That's our realty team that buys and sells hundreds of houses a year in the area. Dave takes a big chunk of that. And it was just nice people talking about what this business is for them, how it works, where you find these opportunities, where you get your money from, who fixes them up. And so I found a community of people that I thought were genuine and helpful and actually wanted to do a thing. And so we did, just started doing some stuff. Like, I know how to beat bushes and make phone calls and write offers. In 2008, there were a lot of houses for sale that were bank owned or short sales. You literally could just go and make offers on something on the open market and actually make money from it because they were motivated sellers and they were everywhere. Banks were trying to get rid of houses, underwater homeowners trying to get out from under houses, relatively easy to find opportunity. So we started with that, and that was 2008, and I haven't worked an honest day since then. But when I'm not doing that, run a construction company that does pre-sale renovations for people like Dave and their clients who are trying to get homes ready for the market. It's really the same thing that we're trying to do as investors. I want to spend the absolute least that I can to sell for the absolute most, right? And hopefully have some profit at the end of it. We help sellers do that exact same thing that we do for ourselves. So that's all that I do, are those kinds of things. And this topic tonight is relevant because if you ask me where we get our business from, we do a few deals a year of the renovation variety. We try to acquire as many buy and hold properties as we possibly can. By the way, never sell real estate if you can at all help it. Keep everything, right? The worst deals I ever had were the ones that I sold. But we try to do a few renovations, try to do a few buy and holds, whatever we can get our arms around in a year. And we do some amount of marketing and advertising and postcards, and we've done radio ads, and we've tried a bunch of stuff. But I can tell you, in 15 years, the thing that's worked the best is just telling people what I do. Looking for opportunities in real estate where I can add some kind of value to it and hopefully sell it or rent it for more than I've got into it. If you know of anyone that has come across a thing that may be able to have some value added to it, a little bit of effort, a little bit of sweat equity, a little bit of money, a little bit of risk, a little bit of whatever, we try to add value and then rent or sell for more than what we got in. Pretty straightforward. If that sounds like a situation you're aware of, give me a call. That's the pitch. That's it. And that brings in the vast majority of our business. And Dave, I don't know how it works for you on the agency side, but I'm pretty confident that your agency business works largely the same, right?
Very much the same, yeah. And you know, when we're out, we were kind of our own bird dogs, right? You know, so we're out there looking for houses all the time. You know, the one that we were at this afternoon, that's how I found it. You know, a relationship that I have from in town. You know, and she's like, yeah, we bought this house and we want to do something with it, right? So we're talking about it. Yeah.
Speaking of that,
Mhm.
do you have the little thing? Are we able to do the little queued up Ray, Uncle Ray
Yeah.
bit?
Let's find where
I came across this the other day on Facebook, and I thought it was relevant.
All right, you ready?
Be generous and be around people who are generous, because it's a system that works, okay? When you're generous with others, they're going to be generous with you if you have the right side of people. If they're not going to be generous with you, then move on. But that generosity means that you'll get more, as well as that you'll give more. Not only is it functional because of that, but it's spiritually enriching. The relationships that you have are the most important things in your life. So having great relationships and having win-win relationships are invaluable. So be generous and expect the generosity from others.
I
Be
think that's it.
generous and be around people who are generous, because it's
So
a system.
that's old Uncle Ray. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Ray Dalio. If you're not, maybe look him up. Nothing short of a billionaire with a big B. His deal is he mostly invests in companies, stocks. He's one of those corporate raider type guys, but not like evil, vicious corporate raider. He's like one of the nicest guys on earth. Tells everybody everything about what he does, how he did it. And he's right. He's built a business that exact same way. Opportunity comes when you just take everything you know and try to give it away. It seems a little counterintuitive, and a lot of people are uncomfortable with that. And they ask, like, well, you guys are doing this thing, and you'll tell somebody, like, where you found your last project? Absolutely. You tell them who you use picks up? Of course. Go use my guy. He's great. They tell where you get the money? Yep. I did. Here's the best rates in town. Here's where I would go if I were you to try to get money. Well, you're just training your competition. Not really. Doesn't really work that way. Surprise, surprise, when you are good to other people, they want to be good to you. And so we've found that this business works for us really well, just by trying to be that missing piece for other people. So that's what we want to try to do, help other people understand how real estate investing works for us, without an agenda, without a book or tape for sale. But we'll talk about in a second what you can do if you want to pick brains further and pay me back. It just costs you a sandwich. But anyway, that's who we are and kind of what we're doing here. The way we typically do it is then we just have other people say hello. Are you good doing that?
That's the next
Is that
one.
what the little thing?
That's the
All
next
right.
one. Yeah, this is our Valentine's Day picture.
Right.
So we were like, we had our meetup on Valentine's Day, and we're like, man, is this a good idea? So we had all couples that came. It was really kind of fun. So,
Very cute.
yeah. And so, tell us about
On the
yourself.
fly.
Yeah.
Name is Bill Taylor. Day job is IT for DoD as a contractor. I don't do any investment yet. Money's just starting to get right for me after separating from the military and pick up the construction job. So I'm trying to get in with the teams and learn about it. I looked at doing Burr to start with, but realized quickly that I don't have the network, I don't have the team, I don't have the knowledge. So I've been trying to incorporate that. My journey started with Bigger Pockets. I got connected to a few people, which connected me to Grid, which connected me to Rob and a gentleman named Larry. Larry told me about you guys, which is why I'm here today.
Perfect. There you go. What branch of the service?
Army.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. You're up.
I'm retired.
Yeah.
I still work for the Army, as a civilian, but I would like to do something else. And I've been interested in real estate for a long time. And as I moved around, usually bought a property and sold it, or held on to it for a while and rented it. I have one right now that I do have a lot of equity in because I held on to it and rented out. But yeah, really interested at this point to build the team, and my partner who's up there, Chris, is in Ohio, and so we've kind of got twofold approach of trying to find some properties in Ohio and then also here. Eventually, I'm going to go back to Ohio in about 4 or 5 years, but get a much bigger. So, anyways, but
Perfect. And tell the room your name.
oh, sorry, Amy Leiston.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Todd. I have 1 month until I retire from the Army, so there you go.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow,
okay.
I'm
Look at that.
On terminal leave right now. Just launched a company with JT Lee called That One Painter. Tell you guys about it. But I'm here to learn too. As I retire, it's the next adventure. Trying a hand in entrepreneurship with That One Painter. Helping JT. He's the owner, and I operate the business. Started my own company on the side too, so doing a couple things there, and then just here to learn.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
My name is Jared Lantis. I work with Design Pro Remodeling. I'm pretty much interested in investing in remodeling residential stuff, maybe condos, townhomes as well. This is probably my 4th or 5th grid meeting, I think. I know Will, good friend, he brought me here and invited me, and I don't know, just learning more each time, a little bit more. I had no idea what wholesale was like 3 meetings ago, whenever that was, so learning a little bit more each time with that. I know you normally have a pitch up there. I don't have a pitch yet. I might be working on one,
Okay.
depending on how that goes. But yeah, just looking to network and learn a little bit more about things.
Okay. Yeah, we always try to come up with a deal of the month. Yeah. Skylar.
Hi, I'm Skylar. I work with Mark over on Cosy Construction. We kind of specialize in pre-sale renovation, so renovate to sell. We do a lot of flips and stuff like that as well.
And I think since it got released, if we're pitching, I don't know what's going to happen to it, but you want to talk about the thing in Clifton you're aware of that might be back out there. We take what we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot that's available. It's a 1 acre lot off of Henderson. They're looking to part with it. Currently, its tax assessed as I think a 3.1, but they have it as a 4.3. Septic was new as of 2013. The guy was elderly and didn't want to get it perked for a 3-bed because he didn't want to pay more taxes on it. But it's essentially possibly still on the market. They took it off.
It's 10 bucks.
So 10 off, yeah.
It looks at it's an interesting house on a not bad lot that is going to need significant renovation and probably something done about the septic to get it up to a size where you can sell it as the size of house that it actually is that got built out there. So it's got a little bit of work to do, but anything worth doing has got some work to do. So it sniffed around it a little bit, and it's kind of come and gone a couple of times. I think they're looking for offers. Everything's a good deal at the right price. It's just finding what that price discovery is. I don't know. We saw it. It's out there. It's interesting. So that'd be my deal alert for you in the Clifton area.
I think the last time it was on the market, it was on for 6, and so we'll see where it goes after this.
Yeah, I think they were at 7, and then they did a $100,000 price drop, and then who knows after that? So maybe get motivated.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll do the legal stuff. If I could read like a chipmunk, I'd read all this to you. Basically, what this is saying is anything that we tell you, do your own research, do your own stuff.
Not an attorney,
Not an attorney.
not financial advisor.
The other thing is Will's got his camera there, so we are taking pictures. We do photography. We use it in our advertisements. So by being in the room, you're probably going to be on something.
That's your cool photo slide. at the
That's right.
beginning.
I'll put it- Exactly. So, Mark, what's a dream team?
Yeah. So as Uncle Ray was saying, it's really hard to do anything entirely by yourself. I know some people who are more loners than some and can work in their boxer shorts at home. But even if you're like day trading crypto at home, there are other people involved in your life. And I think if you're doing things that are really enjoyable, they're gonna probably involve other people anyway. People are naturally drawn. We're a collaborative species, right? I think most people are happiest when they're working with other people. So you want people in your life. You need people usually in most business. And even if you're doing something that you feel is fairly solo, like being a real estate investor on your own, and I just want to buy houses for my portfolio, renovate, whatever, I'm going to do it by myself, you won't really be entirely on your own, right? You can't do this business without agents and contractors and title people and attorneys. There are a bunch of different people that you're going to come across. Who better than to be the people that you evangelize to about what it is that you want? You're gonna need them. I find life is better with partners. I could do this on my own. I don't want to. I don't like being by myself all the time and doing stuff. I like nice people. I like people who believe what I believe. So I find life goes better that way. So then all I'm trying to do is get to know as many of those important people as possible. Tell them what it is that I can do for them, which we'll get to in a second, and then just tell them what I'm looking for and see if we can come up with a good exchange of value.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you're doing, you know, the house that I am under contract, it settles next Friday, thank God. You know, we power washed it, so I've got a power wash guy, right? And I gave his name to Mark because he does an awesome job. He just did my house yesterday. And, you know, for an 1870s farmhouse, doesn't look too bad now. So, yeah, so you need a lot of people in your life to, you know, and multiple people in different aspects of your life, and of different trades and all that. So.
The expression that a lot of people throw around is your net worth is equivalent to your network. Networky people like to say that. A little cheesy, but it's not true. The people that I know that are the most successful in anything typically are the ones that have big Rolodexes. That's how you get any kind of business. You let people know what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're looking for, what it is that you can offer the world. Put that out there to as many people as you can, and then things will come to you. So that's what we're trying to do. But when we talk about building a dream team around real estate investing, we're talking about maybe some more specific kinds of people, right?
Let's take a look and see what we have. Yeah. So we just talked about it. Nobody's a solo player actually.
Yeah. And actually we like to call some of our people in our network superstars. There are people in my life, Dave is one of them, that you just do more business with. Things click. You do things the right way. You develop rapport for whatever reason. There will be people who rise to a higher level in your life, in your business, and one of the key things to do then is when you have one of those people, latch onto them and never let them go, Dave. Because they're the best business is repeat business, right? Someone that you already know that you can trust and does things the way that you do. There's a good exchange of value. Those are the real superstars that you want to try to associate with, and then think, what can I do for this person? Because I know that they're going to be doing great things for me. So identify your superstar on the team, and then make sure they're on the Christmas list.
Definitely. And invite them to your Christmas party too.
And invite them to the Christmas party.
So how do we identify these superstars?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, spoiler alert. You want one, be one, right? An exchange of value starts with giving value. It's the whole purpose of this function, this thing that we're doing here. I know, because I've been doing it, if I tell everyone here everything that I know, hopefully you will feel knowledgeable enough to be dangerous. Go out there, start making some offers on some stuff. Something will happen, and then maybe you would say, hey, I've got this thing that I think might be an opportunity. How do I figure out exactly what it might be worth? Where might I get the money to do this? Who can I have to help me get this in rentable or sellable condition? Great, happy to help, right? We get you knowledgeable enough to go and get yourself into some real estate ventures, and then if you can use us, if you need us, if we can be helpful, we would be glad to help in some ways. That is what this function is for me, and that is why I will tell you everything I know and everything I possibly can so that you can go do it too. Maybe you go and make your millions on your own, we never see you again, that's fine. But more often than not, if you got some value from some exchange of information, you may one day come back again and say, hey, I could actually use a little extra help with this thing. Really pretty simple. You just have to get over the concept that there are like secrets worth keeping. And everybody knows people like that think like, I've got like the magic beans and I'm not going to tell anybody what my magic beans are. In real estate, as though we're going to run out of old smelly houses to renovate.
Yeah, well, I think people like to make competition where there's no competition, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, and if our philosophy is if we give generously and tell you everything, we know statistically there's only 2% of the people that are ever going to perform on that. So it's like we're not creating competition for ourselves. We're actually being generous and being ourselves and, you know, and doing as much as we can for everyone that we meet.
And there's a lot of real estate out there. Once you start looking for old, dirty, smelly houses, you'll realize they're everywhere. Everywhere. We are not going to run out of opportunities for real estate to acquire, add value to, and then rent out or sell. Residential, commercial, oh my gosh, in the next 5 or 10 years, now in this post-COVID, only half of people are going back to work again. I think there's going to be a big reset in commercial real estate. There can be tons of opportunities in other kinds of real estate. We're not going to run out of offices or warehouses or storage facilities, medical office, any of that stuff. There's a lot of opportunity out there for everyone. We don't need to worry about anybody taking our deal.
Cool.
A lot of them out there. Yeah. Any of these people ring any bells?
Plenty of bells on all these fronts, right? You know, I mean, we have our real estate group has a partnership with a settlement agent, with a title company, right? And it's always good to have multiple title companies that you're working with too, because, you know, something that we talked about earlier, and that is subject to properties. Not all title companies will do that.
No, they won't.
So you need multiple title companies then that you're working with.
Wholesale is another thing that some title companies get a little squeamish about. Wholesaling being the process of putting a piece of real estate under contract and then assigning your contract rights to someone else for a fee. Fairly straightforward, but not every settlement company is kind of hip to that. They're used to buyer, seller, exchange funds, and then the thing happens. They get a little weirded out, and there's a guy in the middle saying, hey, I kind of put this together, somebody pay me a fee. So you'll need to know people who are willing, capable, and understanding of how that process works. You need one? Let us know. We know one. We know settlement companies that do that. But they will be an important part of your team, a settlement and title company that does what you need. Title companies are important. We run a lot of title. We buy a lot of houses that have a lot of weird stuff going on. Surprise, surprise. It's not always just the physical condition that has caused the motivation that leads us to an opportunity. There are oftentimes financial things and liens and tax debts and stuff that we need to find out about. And so we need to be able to run titles. So we need title companies to be able to pull that title for us affordably, quickly, so that we can diagnose our deals. So those are going to be good people to know. Those same two people, the title and settlement companies, are usually also the first to find out when a deal falls apart, right?
Yep.
We have gotten projects, opportunities from our title and settlement partners because they're the ones who find out. They get the phone call, buyer backed out for whatever reason. Seller and buyer got mad at one another for some stupid thing, and now they've blown the whole deal off, and now the thing's not happening. They are not only places where you go to give them money in exchange for the service that they provide, but they will occasionally maybe have an opportunity that they can tell you about. Back to exchange, right? We want to be working with people who know what business we're in, know what we're looking for. I'm happy to give you money for the thing that you do. Keep me in mind for the thing that I do. And it works. Hard money lenders, we do a lot of work with various kinds of lenders. You're going to need money for this business. We actually spend an entire one of these sessions talking about how that works, right?
Yep. Simply Funded is one of our sponsors for this grid, Sherry. And it's good to know multiple ones because they have different programs. Some of them are better at one thing than the other.
Yep.
So,
Those are people who provide private funds. As you may know, it's not super easy to walk into the bank on the corner and say, hey, I want to buy this molded out house around the corner that's absolutely not financeable by anybody, but will you give me money to go rip it further apart, put it back together, and hopefully have it make money? That's not really their bit most of the time. That's what private lending is for. So you'll want to know those guys. And again, they find out about deals that fall apart because they're funding them. And so we've gotten opportunities from our hard money friends. Hey, if you have a deal that you're funding that seems to go sideways for some reason, I'm a buyer. Every once in a while, one of those opportunities come up. So again, if we can help provide them loans with people that we know, they'll help provide us with opportunities when they come across their desk. So there's a good reciprocal relationship there. Contractors should be fairly straightforward. We got several of those in the room. You got to have contractors to do your thing. And as contractors, we end up in houses that sometimes have some sketchy stuff going on, right? People call us in and say, hey, I'm thinking about maybe selling this house. Can you take the pool out of the basement that happens every time it rains for more than 45 minutes? Yeah, we can probably maybe help you with that, but maybe you want to consider some of your other options besides pumping your basement out every 4.5 hours. We see stuff, so you're going to want to know as many contractors as you possibly can, because not only will they be the guys you go to help fix your thing, they come across situations that can oftentimes lead to opportunity, right? I feel like I'm self-promoting contracting, so.
No, to me, you can't have enough of those in your Rolodex, enough folks, because there's different, you got painters, you got wallboard people, you got carpenters, you have floor guys, you got carpet guys, on and on and on and on. And some contractors are better at doing, more major jobs where they're organizing and executing the whole thing. And sometimes all I need is carpet. So it's like, I'm not going to go to my contractor favorites to get carpet, right? If that's all I need. So, yeah. Just a list of folks. And that kind of dovetails into suppliers.
Suppliers, staging companies, anyone that I buy something from, I make sure that anyone I buy something from knows what it is that I'm looking to buy also. Hey, carpet guy, staging company, framer, towel guy, landscaper, mailman, anyone that steps foot on a property that we're on, hopefully gets told by somebody, yeah, we're fixing this thing up. Anybody that has a house that might need to get fixed up, let us know. We'd love to talk to them. Tell everyone what business you're in. Literally everyone what business you're in. And by the way, you've now come to an investor meeting, and I've already told you, we've told you what the secret is. Tell everybody what business you're in. So starting tonight, when anyone asks you, you're retired Army, you're about to be retired Army, you've done other things, and I'm a real estate investor. You're not thinking about being a real estate investor, you're not hoping to be a real estate, you're a real estate investor. I'm looking for opportunities in real estate. If you ever know of anything or there's a situation where you might need some specialized knowledge or specialized work, or there's some kind of value extraction needs to happen, I'm your person, please call me. That's it. It starts with you knowing that's all you need to know. Believe it, internalize it, tell everyone else. That's it. You're never gonna reach a point where you're like, oh, that's it. I now know all there is to know. Every single time we do anything, I'm always at the end of it like, should have thought of that, learned something on that one. Every single time. Hundreds of projects, still something every time we learn. So you're never going to know everything. That's fine. You don't need to know everything. You know enough that I can put the pieces together. I can talk to other people to get the answers that I need. You are an investor. Tell everyone, look for opportunity. So we tell everyone, contractors, suppliers, stagers, anything. Real estate agents, pretty obvious. Who else is in the path of more opportunity for people looking to sell property? But our agent friends, your Rolodex should be full of agents. You should tell every agent you come across, I am looking for this, whatever your thing is. I'm looking for fix and flip houses. I'm looking for things I can rent. I'm looking for condos in particular, or single family, whatever it is. The thing that I would advise is the more specific you are with what you ask, the more likely someone is to think of you when that thing comes up. So I find it less effective to say, I'm a real estate investor. You know of real estate, think of me. Fine. More effective to talk to an agent in the Fairfax area and say, awesome, our office is in Reston. I am looking for renovation quality property in Reston. Not really too particular about what it is. I like condos, I like townhouse, I like single family, but if it needs work in and around the Reston area, I'm your guy. Yeah, I'll do a deal in Alexandria, I'll do a deal in Arlington if I can, but if I tell somebody in and around Reston that if they come across this thing, when they come across it, what is that guy that said he was doing the thing in Reston? Look me up, and maybe they put a note in there that said, oh, Mark, he's the guy in Reston. Do that. Tell them all you're looking for are rentals in Clifton. I don't know what the inventory is for rental housing in Clifton, but if you tell people that's what you're looking for, when they come across it, it's called reticular activation. You're looking for the thing that you were told to look for. So the more specific you can be with what you tell people or what you tell an agent you're looking for, I think the more likely they are to respond to that message. So specificity generally works.
Definitely. Estate attorneys, yeah,
You ever work one of those?
all the time. Yeah, I'm actually doing a listing with one right now. Yeah.
Death and taxes. I don't know. Maybe we'll find a way to get a tax guy in here somehow. But death happens, and so that's what the estate process is. And we have gotten some of our best deals through the estate process. So we are very good friends with our estate attorney buddies, and try to be as helpful to them as possible. If we meet someone that is starting that process, we say, great, you probably need someone to help advise you on how the process works. Talk to this attorney, and if what comes out of that is there's real estate that needs to be sold, then they'll come and talk to me. But estate attorneys are great contacts to have, and they're in the phone book. They want to be found. Tell them what business you're in, try to send them business when you can, but they come across opportunities quite often.
Yeah, they find folks where, you know, the parents died, the two siblings own it now, they don't get along, they're feuding. One thinks that the house belongs to him, you know, the other one thinks that the house belongs to her, and they get in the middle of it, and, you know, there's usually an attorney on both sides, and if you have good relationships with a lot of the attorneys, the one attorney that I work with quite a bit, I was on the opposing side of one of his deals, right? And so, you know, the attorney that brought me in had me do a current market assessment on this particular property that two sisters were trying to get their brother to, you know, move out and sell, and yeah, so he liked the way that I worked on the other side. So when, you know, when things changed around. He's like, hey, liked what you did, come on over and let's do some deals together. And that's been a source of a lot of different scenarios, right? And some of these houses are of the type of house where, they're full of stuff, right? And they're either tear downs or they're, total gut jobs and all that. So that's where, the investors come in.
Yeah, you've had your motivated seller discussion for the year, I guess, right? The short version of that is everybody says, "Oh, look at, I want to find a deal. Where do you guys find these deals? How do you find these deals for so cheap?" I've never found a deal in my life. All I've ever done is helped a motivated seller with some problem related to real estate. And when motivation stacks, you're more likely to find a really good opportunity. So when we say motivation stacks, I mean in the estate situation, we had one not long ago where the estate attorney was dealing with siblings who were not really getting along because one of the siblings was living in the house and was using it as a storage facility for everything on earth. It was hoarded beyond imagination, stacked to the ceiling in every single room. That's a problem. They were not paying the rent they were supposed to be paying to the other siblings, so there was a money issue. There was a major condition issue, and now there's this estate that the other siblings decided needed to finally get settled up. So there were multiple levels of motivation there that we were able to provide solutions for. House full of junk? No problem. We will bring dumpsters and we will go through the house piece by piece if we need to, show them to the person who cares, as long as they understand that once it's through the door, you can put it in your truck, you can take it somewhere else, you can take it to the storage facility, or we can put it in this dumpster, but it leaves the door and then it's gone. The attorney loved that. Like, oh my God, that's making my life so much easier if you will just help mediate this whole thing where I can't get involved and say that I'm on the side of this person with the thing. Like, no problem, that's fine. I would camp out there for, it was the better part of a week where 3 dumpsters and like 3 guys just hauling stuff. You want this? Great. Do you want it in your truck? Do you want it over here? Do you want it in the trailer? Or can we put it in the dumpster? And you just move the thing through. Got them where they needed to be, got the house cleaned out that we said, fine, once we get all this stuff out of it, we will buy it at a price where hopefully we can fix all the stuff that we're gonna find under all these enormous piles. But in this estate situation, they just wanted the problem to go away. It wasn't about extracting the absolute top dollar from the house, just get us out from this thing. Get sis out, take the dumpsters full of stuff out, find the couple dozen things that they cared about, found the china, found the guns, found the stuff that they wanted out of the house, and then at the end of it all, we got a kind of dirty, but easy to clean up and fix, very profitably home. That is stacked motivation, and so when you have multiple issues that need to be dealt with, you're a solution. That's all we want to be. We want to be a solution. So I don't find deals, I find problems, and I bring solutions, and that's where we get our opportunities from. So estate attorneys are a great one. Divorce attorneys for somewhat similar reasons. Things happen, there's a situation, it's not necessarily about the money, it's about solving the problem. And if you're able to solve the problem in a time frame, in a way, in a condition that makes life easier for somebody, that's where opportunities come from. That's what we do.
Yeah, and I think that's the key there. That's the motivation. Maybe I just want to be done with this because I want to be really done with the other person.
That's right.
Right. So
It's not.
So sometimes there's not it lacks any temptation to want to fix the house up and turn around and sell it at the top of the market because they don't want anything to do with it. So it's like we just want out.
Yep.
Give us cash.
Yep. So that is a person then that we want in our Rolodex. Come across this situation where someone has got to come and mediate, navigate, be sensitive, do whatever needs done to get to a resolution. I'm your person, right? That's your message. You tell that message to people who are in the path of problems you can solve. That's where your opportunities are going to come from. So those people that we want to know, we want to remind them that we exist and are here to help them and be a solution. Send them business when we can. and stay in touch. And then the others, somewhat obviously, wholesalers and other investors. A wholesaler is someone who only goes out to try to get a property under contract and then sell those contract rights to someone else. I've bought plenty of deals from wholesalers. They win just by getting the thing under contract, putting no money into it, taking absolutely no risk by buying it, bring it to me, and if you can get it under control for less money than I'm willing to pay, you make the difference. That's wholesaling in a nutshell. If I'll pay $500 for that house in Clifton that I can renovate and sell for $7,000, and you can get it under contract for $475, you've made $25,000. You found a seller at $475, you found me at $500. We work out the difference so that you make that difference as a wholesaler. Those folks exist. Good wholesalers are invaluable. There are a lot of people who claim to be wholesalers and will send you that house that you'd love to buy at $500 and they're asking $550. That's why we say do your own due diligence and make sure you know how to run some numbers and know if you're looking at a deal. But there are plenty of people who are very good at doing that marketing piece. They spend the money to make the phone ring, to get someone on the other line, make them a cash as is, fast close offer, get it under contract, and then bring it to you. Get on those mailing lists. They come to meetings like this. Come here for a few more of these. I guarantee at some point somebody will be there that, yep, I'm a wholesaler. By the way, I'm a wholesaler. Every once in a while, I will sell a project. I like fast money too. Some of the best money you'll make per hour is in wholesaling. Get it under contract and sell that contract. $5,000, $10,000, $50,000. The most I've ever paid is about $150,000 wholesale fee. Doesn't matter. It's worth to me what it's worth to me. If you've got it for some price under that, happy to pay it, right? So get to know your wholesaler types. They come to meetings just like this. And then other investors, always looking for opportunity. I like partners. I like to partner with people. Someone has an opportunity. They're not exactly sure how to squeeze the most out of it. Great. Let me bring crews and money and experience. You've got an opportunity. Let's go do something with this team. And every once in a while, I'm also looking for other people to partner with us on stuff. It takes some money to do this, and the more money I can bring, the less money I have to borrow. So I partner with people that are other investors that have some equity that they want to put into deals. So always be talking to your fellow investor, because you never know when one of them is going to have a deal they want to sell you, partner with you on, use some of your money, bring some money and do your deal, whatever, right? We do a lot of work with our fellow investors. Again, why we're here. And why I'm telling you, you are all now investors, right? Because when you get something, if you love to partner with somebody, Dave, would love to partner with you.
Yeah, that's part of it. You know, if you're new in the business and you're just finding things, you may run across something that you don't know what to do with, right? It's like, I think this is a good deal, but I don't know, right? And that's why you have the rest of this room. You have Mark to call, you have me to call, Will to call. You know, we reach out to one another and we may be able to help you do something with it, right?
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, click the switch in your mind that says, I am an investor, I'm not just trying to be one.
Yep. So those are the people. Who do we forget? Anybody else that's kind of in the path of real estate? I know a guy who just hangs out in the depot, because you're doing renovations, you spend way too much time in the depot, and hands out business cards in the Home Depot to all the other contractor type guys. Hey, you ever see a house? Call me. I'm always looking to buy a house. I know somebody that harasses all of the postal service people that they ever get their hands on, because they're always driving by houses. Hey, you see one that's got grass growing out of the gutter? Give me a call. Anybody that's driving around and sees houses out in the world is someone who ought to know that you are in the business of buying houses, right? Or if storage is your thing, find people who do property management for storage companies. If you're looking to buy a medical office building, talk to business brokers who sell medical businesses. They know when medical office buildings come up for sale, right? Think of the people who are in the path of the thing that you have an interest in acquiring and let them know you exist. Yeah, I don't think of anybody else, shout them out. I'm always looking for new ideas for people to annoy with my pitch to buy real estate. Oh, and yeah, here would be a great place to find people, hopefully.
Exactly.
Keep coming, and the best thing that anyone that comes, the one thing that we ask is if you get any kind of value whatsoever, just tell other people. The more people that come, the bigger everyone's network gets, the more opportunities that are going to be built from it. And know that there are other meetings. We happen to like ours here at Grid, but there are other investor networking things that you can go to. Go to as many as makes sense, and trade those business cards. Get in other people's customer relationship management systems and follow up. But know that places like this are one of the best places. Is what we're here to talk about. Actually, Will was talking about BNIs. BNIs, if you can get into them, are also great. What time is your BNI?
7:30 on Tuesday mornings.
That is the biggest problem with BNIs for me. They're always,
Business Network International, I think.
Oh.
yeah. So BNI is like a grid kind of thing, but it's selective. So they'll have one person that represents an industry. So they'll have like a contractor and an agent and an insurance guy and something. And then the premise is we are all going to be always looking for the thing that you do. I'm going to tell everyone if they need insurance, you got to talk to my guy. You got to talk to my gal. You got to talk to my person. And you bring business. You are obligated to bring a certain amount of business to the other people at the table, and they should be bringing business to you. And the way that they organize it is they just have different businesses that are represented so that there's not like a competition thing. It's if anybody knows of someone who needs an agent, this is our agent guy for this particular BNI, right? So they're great, but they can be smaller and harder to get into because they only want one usually person from a particular thing. But most of them are also open to having guests.
Yeah, they absolutely invite as many guests as they can. And funny enough, like within the first week and a half, we're still forming, and I'm doing a bathroom in Reston, ironically, from somebody that needed it. And so it's just those relationships, right? It's another place to connect and network. So
Yeah, that's where I met my CPA.
yeah.
That's where I met the woman that runs a roofing company that put the roof on my house. Right? You know, so yeah.
Well, it's funny, in the group, there's other contractor that was representing a different category, and they do solar, and we're now partnering on solar projects. So it's a really great way to just kind of learn about folks that are actually interested in sharing and networking and that are like-minded.
Yeah, they're great. The only barrier to entry is that 7:30 a.m. start time. Bring your coffee. All right, so it's not just about grabbing a stack of business cards from your thing, right?
It's an engagement situation.
This is a contact sport. Not physical contact necessarily, but you must make contact with the people in your life that you want to stay in front of. We've all done it. Taken the business card, like, oh, that's interesting, nice person, put it in the drawer for the rainy day, and it lives in the drawer forever, right? We need something better than the drawer for our contacts. So I don't care how you do it. What software do you like?
Well, so our real estate group uses Brevity, so we put everything in there, and you know that's so some of the emails that you see coming from us, you know, in your inboxes are coming out of our MailChimp through Brevity, right? And yeah.
MailChimp is a good one. It's both a way to keep the names in a thing, but it's built for email. It's an email platform, and you can preload a set email. So you've got categories. So all of the agents that you want to meet, right? Agents are great. We need agents in our dream team. So I've got a category for agents, and I've got an email that goes out to agents and says, hey agent, if you have a listing that like smells like death and the windows don't work, think of me, right? And then you've got one for your estate people. Hey, estate attorneys, when the brothers and sisters are fighting, and you just gotta stop the pistols at noon, we're your people, right? And so it's a platform that will let you just build those things, that lets you stay in front of your people, and have little organized categories for if you have a different message for a different person. So MailChimp is great. Constant Contact is good. There are plenty. They don't have to be very expensive. MailChimp is practically free. Oh, there you go.
We got a
There's
list of
them.
someplace that have missed
I
it.
think, yep, Copper, I think I saw was in there. Yep,
All
Copper.
those you're mentioning now are methods of storing and connecting, reaching
Correct.
out.
Correct. It's called a CRM, Customer Relationship Management, right?
Yeah, so, you know, it's like the contacts that you have in your phone, although, you know, what it is you can put notes in there from your last conversation, you can give it a, you know, a reminder for you to call them back in 2 months or whatever, you know, so it allows you to manage hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of contacts and phone calls and texts and emails and all that.
And you can
Right,
get,
understood.
Yeah,
and you can get fancy. You can buy platforms that will do emailing and texting and preload phone calls. You can call stuff out. I don't use anything super crazy robust, just an email platform, and Outlook and Gmail, more than enough. All you need is that way to say, all right, here's the person that I want to reach. Here's a place I can put that name and phone number, and a way to remind myself to reach out on some kind of regular basis to stay top of mind, right? We want to stay in front of the people. That particular activation, again, I want them to think if there's a house in Reston that's looking like it's in pretty rough shape, who was that guy? Create something, have 5 ways to try to remember who I am, find me in your thing and call me up, or vice versa, have me stay in front of you. So that's what we want out of our CRM. And then my other tidbit is emails are great. Texts are fine. Pretty much everybody texts now. But when was the last time you called someone out of the blue, a business person, just to say, hey, checking in, how's business? What can I do to add value to your life today? Very few people actually do that.
This one?
We do, because it's a fundamental bit of how CASA works, right?
Yeah.
We've been drilled into by Rob, who spends several hours a day just making phone calls, actual phone calls, to say, hi, how are you? He follows the Ford principle,
Yeah.
family,
Occupation,
recreation,
and dreams.
and dreams, right? If you can't think of anything else to talk about, ask people how the family is, what it is they've been dreaming about, what's your next dream vacation, what are you looking to do, what's your business up to,
Yeah,
whatever.
What's your occupation? What do you do for fun?
And what do you do for fun, right? Ask people genuine, open-ended questions. They will learn to know, like, and trust you, and that's where relationships are born. That's all we want. We want people to know us, to like us, to trust us, and then they'll want to do business with us. Make the call. Emails are great, but very few people anymore believe in the good old-fashioned pick up the phone call. That's what will make it more effective. Everybody gets a lot of junk mail, right? Everybody gets a lot of spam calls. Hopefully your number doesn't come up as spam, and hopefully you're not calling to say, hey, I'm looking for some deals, what do you have for me? You're calling to say, hey, was thinking about you. I've been doing this thing with these folks over at this bit called Grid. You ever hear about it? Maybe come out sometime. Do something to introduce something of value to another person. Like, oh, cool, well, thank you for thinking of me with that. How can I return the favor one day, right? So call, offer value, and then all else fails, coffee. I'll tell anybody anything for coffee. Skylar will back me up on this. We're very food motivated over here
Yeah.
at Grid Rescue. Take us to lunch. We'll tell you everything we know, right? But seriously, we get a significant amount of our business just over lunches and coffees. Take people to lunch. Ask them what they're doing. Ask them what they're up to. Ask them what they're looking for. Figure out how you can add value to them. They'll add value to you. It seems uncomplicated, I guess, because it is.
Well, it's simple, but it's simple, but it's not easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does
Yeah.
take effort to want to line up a lunch with someone, right?
Yeah.
But we've spent hours a day doing it because I then don't have to send out 10,000 postcards to try to get 2 phone calls, to try to hope somebody calls me with the thing. Yes, that will work, and those laws of large numbers can also work in your favor. Find your thing, find your message, lather, rinse, repeat. I can tell you it's going to work faster if you just find some people who are in the path of the thing that you want to be doing, and then just talk to them. And follow up and be nice and try to send them business. They will bring you what you're looking for in abundance.
Yeah, and you find out the way that they want to communicate or that they will communicate with you best, right? You know, so take advantage of that voicemail system if they don't answer the phone. Just leave them a nice, hey, you know, I was driving by your neighborhood and thought of you. Ask them something about something, right? You know, so that's what you do. And some people will never answer the phone, right? You know, so. But they will text, you know, if you text them, they're like, boom, right back. Like, wow, I just called you. You don't answer the phone. I text you. You text me right back. All right, that's how we're going to play, you know, so that's what you do. Yeah.
I know too many people that will answer their Facebook Messenger or won't answer their cell phone text message. Same phone.
Thank you. Facebook reminds us of our good buddy Matt. What's his Facebook bit?
Yeah, so for Matt on our team, he, you know, how Facebook has everybody's birthday, right? So instead of, you know, hey, happy birthday, dude, you know, which is kind of like off in the ether, nobody cares, he does a video clip for everybody's birthday every day.
And his,
And he's got, you know, from a real estate standpoint, he's gotten a ton of business. People love that, you know.
he has a database of now many thousands of people. So he is spending, I don't know, probably an hour a day doing these happy birthday messages, depending on if it's a heavy birthday day. But that many people are doing it, and he makes hundreds of thousands of dollars because people know him, like him, trust him, because he's doing this neat thing that not a lot of other people are doing on a platform like a Facebook.
It's literally just a happy birthday.
It's happy
Yeah.
birthday. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
Just, and depends on how well he knows the person, but a lot
It's
of
like-
people he's
it's
just
like-
picked up in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
Like, hey, it's always birthday.
It's easy. It's like, Amy, it's your birthday. Hey, hope you're having a great day. Haven't talked with you in a while. Say hi to Chris. You know.
So it's just a way to like
Yeah,
catch up
yeah.
again, kind
Yeah.
of touch
Stay
point,
top of mind.
like, yeah.
He's goofy. He's got like one of those little one-wheel things. So he's like riding around the neighborhood, usually like door knocking and talking to people on his one wheel, doing his like shaky video message while he's going down the street. But you remember it.
Right.
There aren't a lot of people doing it. And they're like, oh, he actually took the 30 seconds to actually wish me a happy birthday on the thing. That's kind of neat. That's it. That's kind of neat. Gets him dozens of deals a year from just doing a thing that not that many other people are doing.
And,
So-
and it's silly too because he's been doing this for years. Right? So people on their birthday are like waiting for minutes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, seriously. On my birthday, I'm like, okay, Matt,
Yeah.
don't forget me, man.
Right.
It's now it's a full-on thing, and it is one of the biggest generators for him for his business. So that's what it is. You just want to be in front of people when and how you can, just doing something of value, and even if the thing of value is saying happy birthday in a slightly more personal way. So
Yeah.
plan, structure around this stuff helps,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, and one of the things that we do in the real estate world is we do something called 36 Touch, which is to our database where we have emails for everybody, right? And you know, and twice a month we'll send out something, and you know, it's always generosity and lead with value, right? If I'm sending emails to somebody or if I'm calling them, I'll look up their house and see what it's selling for. You know, hey, just noticed you. Wow, man, your house is going for 1.2 now. You know, what person doesn't like, really? They'll call you back, right? You know, so it's just a way to do that. You can do it with email, text, voice, whatever.
What was the title you gave it? 3060 Touch?
It's called 36 Touch,
36.
meaning that in a year, there's
Oh.
36 touches on people. And you know, one could be an email, one could be a call, one could be a text, right? You know, so
Roughly 3 times a month.
3 times a month.
You want to show up in front of someone.
You want to show up in front of them, you know, and you're not going to call somebody 3 times a month because they're going to do, you know.
You're sorry.
Leave me alone. I'm just talking to them. But if they're getting an email from you, you know, that says, oh, you know, this is, you know, some real estate thing or some piece of value on
Yeah.
that. The next one might be a text, you know. The next one might be your, you know, hey, happy birthday, you know. Could be anything, but it's just like 3 times a month. Just
Take your whole database. So it doesn't matter what they do. They're somebody that you want to know what it is that you do. Put them in your MailChimp thing to send an email to. And then find this thing that we're talking to you about on Henderson Road, the really jacked up house. Go to that jacked up house. Film yourself walking around it. Well, this is interesting. Well, how in the world did they decide to put a bedroom over here? And so do whatever you think is a neat, interesting thing in a house that you can let yourself in because it's on the market. Send it to people. Some people will find that interesting. Oh, well, that was kind of neat. They went out and then did the thing. Find ways to just create little bits of content that someone might find interesting and then send it out to them periodically. That's what you're doing. But the people who are most successful, I can always tell who's actually going to go somewhere and do something, their routine about it. Whatever it is, that'd be 36 touch. It could be 1 a month. It could be 1 a year. But whatever it is, 1 a year is probably not enough. We need to stay in front of our people more than once a year. But time block it, commit to doing it, set up your MailChimp, use whatever platform you're going to do, but then say, I am going to do this, and then do it. Does you no good at all to collect that enormous stack of cards, put them in a rubber band and stick them in a desk drawer. You must commit to doing the thing and then do the thing. I can tell you the law of large math will do the rest of the work if you do the thing. If you just contact 2 or 3 people a month about wanting to do something in real estate, whatever that thing is, it will happen if you do that thing regularly. Just how math works. If you, Rob calls it want a chicken. If you stand on the side of the road and trying to sell live chickens, you ask enough people, maybe that's not the absolute most efficient way to do it, but I'm telling you, ask enough people to buy a chicken, eventually somebody will say yes. We're just trying to come up with a slightly better chicken, right? A different way to get in front of people and have them think of you, provide value, offer something they might be interested in seeing, watching, learning, and then they'll think of you. It is really as easy as that, but things that are easy to conceive of are not always easy to actually follow up with and do, right? We all get busy. So, I'm going to send it, I'll do the thing. Try to find a way to automate that as best you can. So pay for the thing if the thing helps you send out your email, send out your text blast, make it easier to post that thing to Facebook, record your video, whatever. Try to make it easy to execute because the value is in just getting the thing out. It doesn't have to be gorgeous, it doesn't have to be perfect, but the value is in just getting it out. So as easy as you can make it for yourself to create a thing that I can put in front of somebody and get out there, the better off you'll be. That would be my big pitch, is consistency.
Yeah, and I think the real estate goal for our team is 10 contacts a day, 10 conversations in some way about real estate. And that is enough to generate a lot of money for you in a year.
And consistent beats pretty.
Consistent is way better than pretty, yeah. You know, some folks do videos and things like that, and they're, oh, I don't look good or whatever. Actually, the human part of you is what people want to see. If you mess up and you go, well, let me start over, or something like that. People appreciate that, because we're so used to looking at, the polished YouTube people out there, and they just, it's like, yeah, you know, my wife and I do what we call a CASA real estate minute once every couple of weeks, right? And we'll put it out on Facebook. And they're one-hit wonders. We just go, what are we talking about today? We're talking about a sell thing, and we'll talk about a buy thing, right? And so we're together, and the funny thing about it is that people start to recognize that, and they're like, and we always do it in our car, okay? So things in our car, we're sitting, you can tell we're in our car, right? Always have our shades on, right? You know, I'm usually wearing a hat, you know, she's got some outfit on, she looks way better than I do. And so we do our thing, right? And so we keep doing this, and people come back on Facebook then, and we did one time when we weren't in the car, and they're like, well, why aren't you in your car?
You're not doing them from the motorcycle yet?
Nah, that was cool.
Just turn the gain way up on the microphone.
Right.
Ride slow.
Exactly. So anyway, the consistency to the point is what counts, you know, and people start to recognize that, and you don't have to be perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Consistent
Even when
means-
you're calling, you don't have to be perfect.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
So,
Just be genuine. Consistent beats pretty. Yes, we call Dream Team 2.0 the other stuff you can do when you've got a big database. Hopefully, if you think that building a large database of people is worth doing, I'm telling you it is, but maybe you'll hopefully come to realize that in your own investing careers. An even larger list allows you to do other cool stuff. Once you've got a lot of eyeballs, you can do all kinds of interesting stuff. Those of us in business have done co-branded kind of stuff before. Referral link kind of things. If you're driving lots of traffic, you can do things with link backs and referrals. And in real estate, that's maybe one of the easiest things for you to refer are opportunities. We talk to a lot of people about maybe selling houses. We don't buy most of those houses. So what do? Well, that's why I know people who have real estate licenses, because they can sell the house. And now I've provided opportunity for that person. Never let an opportunity get away if you're talking to someone who has some interest in selling some real estate. Even if you don't buy it, you might know someone else that can help them. So having a large database to promote those kind of opportunities too will also pay dividends with those kind of referral type of things and co-branding things. So big lists are good. That's kind of what that means. Yeah, this
so
is
let's
just
say kind of same
yeah,
thing.
link backs and that kind of thing. So those are the kind of opportunities that we may be bringing as the grid list gets bigger. We're always talking to people who say, oh, I've got a cool thing. And as soon as we find a way to introduce the cool thing where it really is valuable and not just a pitch, then maybe we'll start doing that with our larger list, because there are some people out there doing really cool stuff that we do think does have a lot of value. It's bringing it in a way that's valuable is what we want to work on. But good stuff happens when you know a lot of people. Is that a summary for
It's perfect.
the list? Good stuff happens when you know, and when they know
Good stuff
you.
happens when you know good people.
And better stuff happens when you know a lot of people and you try to bring them value. And just be the person who brings the value and is the superstar. And then someone else will have had the same idea. Oh, they're a superstar. I'm going to stay in contact with them. And then they'll take you out for coffee. And then they'll bring you deals. And that's where it comes from. So that's
So that's
what I do.
That is any question, anything we talked about there. Any questions about?
To me, that's the hard part, is figuring out where you fit in and bring value when you're like, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm a real estate investor.
Yeah.
But you know, just figuring out where where you start your niche, how you offer the value.
so.
Start.
Especially in the beginning.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah, if you're interested in residential real estate, fix and flip, buy and hold, whatever,
Yeah.
you're going to need to be in a lot of houses anyway.
Mhm.
You want to be in a lot of houses. You want to see inventory. You want to look at houses in different conditions. So start doing that. Get into houses and then literally just record what you see and create that content and then share that with anyone you can get in a database. Someone will be interested in the thing that you drove by that looked interesting to you, right?
Okay.
Doesn't cost you anything, it's easy to do, and I guarantee you, if you just do that, record yourself looking at a property, I wonder how this would work. What would be the best way to extract value from this? Is this bathroom at all functional? What do you think, world? What would you do with this, right? And then take a photo or a video of the thing and send that out. People find that interesting. Yeah, well, that's kind of interesting. And then they'll think, oh, when I see the weird jacked up toilet, where did I see that again? Who do I know that's interested in weird jacked up toilets? All right. So that's a real easy way to do a thing that I think people would be interested in because it interests you. So share what interests you with other people, and don't be surprised if it interests them too.
Yeah, the other thing that you can do too is, we've talked about this before, it's called driving for dollars. You just drive around. And,
Right.
you see some old house that's like
Yeah.
long in the tooth, it's like, man, does anybody even live there?
Yeah.
You know,
As long as
come
you get
back.
shot.
I would, I mean, you can go up and knock on the door for one, or
Yeah,
just
yeah.
just write down the address and
Yeah.
then come back to a group like this. And
Yeah,
we can
and
look
talk
up,
about
we can
it,
look
yeah.
up in the tracks record
Yeah,
and figure out
yeah.
who owns it.
Right.
And then we can, true people search it, figure out what phone
Gotcha.
numbers might work, and we
Okay.
just call the phone numbers. We do
Yeah.
it as part of our bird dogging
Yeah.
session or
Yeah.
something. And we've, several hundred calls, and you get people to answer the phone, and you find houses, and they're like, well, no, we sold that one. Well, you got anything else? Yeah, I do. It's the one across the street from that one. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're all always trying to get educated. So you should be looking for books and things on real estate investing. You see one you like, send that out. I would suggest Ray Dalio. He's written a couple of really good books, and the guy's got a really good outlook on life. Look up that thing. Just ask around, what book should I be reading? That is content. Ask the world to suggest the thing. There are tons of ways to provide value by sharing the thing that you're looking for, right? We're all kind of on the same journey, and again, if it's interesting to you, it's probably interesting to someone else. So share that book, a YouTube video, a grid type of function. Maybe check this thing out. Share that with the people in your database, and don't be surprised if some of them appreciate it.
Okay.
All right.
This is the